I'll begin in the greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Peace and blessings upon you all. My name's Aman Durrani, and I'm one of the people involved in the Colourful Heritage project. And I'd like to welcome you all to the launch of the Bashir Maan archive, which is the first archive of its kind for Muslims and South Asians migrants to Scotland. And this landmark event is a landmark for Scotland, and not just Scottish Muslims, not just for Scottish Asians or ethnic minorities, but for the whole of Scotland. And there's no doubt that 2014 has been a very special year for Scotland, and especially this great city of Glasgow, for so many reasons. Of course, we've had the wonderful Commonwealth Games in this city. We've also had a remarkable summer of more than 2 days of sunny, warm weather, which I think is quite unique. And even this morning, the ice and the frost was out, and now it's sunny on the way here, so we might get another few nice days. There's obviously the Scottish independence referendum and the Ryder Cup for those that follow golf. And so it's been a very special year, and I guess something more personal for me is that this was the reason why we're here today, to really mark a really special occasion with Uncle Bashir Maan, who's here. And this archive is special because it will help to preserve the contribution of South Asians and Muslims to Scotland. And it's even more special because of this great venue, and I'm sure most of you will agree what a wonderful venue it is. There's a special exhibition that's been up from the Commonwealth Games as well. But I've got mixed emotions about this place. It's obviously a lovely, majestic building. Those of you that live in Glasgow will have passed it many times over the years. But I used to come here for my professional exams and study, and it took about 6 months of my life, and I would find any excuse not to study. So I would go and wander and look at the bookshelves and find books on topics that I'd never even heard existed. So it's quite nostalgic for me as well. A lot happier because I finished with those exams as well. So. But we're honoured to be here today for quite, in this grand building, for something that started as quite a humble little idea over a cup of tea in a living room about 4 years ago. And the Colourful Heritage project really started off with a group of friends who felt it would be fascinating to preserve the stories of our elders and the early migrants to Scotland. We would hear these wonderful little stories and anecdotes from our uncles and parents and grandparents, and we thought it would be wonderful to experience and to record this for future generations to come. And we thought that their stories were so inspiring that if we don't capture them now, it will be a missed opportunity for the future. So we started on quite an ambitious journey to create the first and largest online archive telling the stories of these early migrants, both the ups and the downs, the joys and the sadness, the successes and the failures, so that future generations can be inspired by the hard work and dedication of our elders, and many of you are here today. And it's interesting because hardly any of us had any technical knowledge how to go about creating the first and largest online archive. We weren't in the media profession. But there's a belief in the Islamic tradition that if you dedicate yourself to a task with sincerity, hard work and perseverance, then God will open up doors for you in avenues that you will never imagine. And one important door, which is more of a motorway, which is the M8, that really led us to a collaboration with the Al-Walid Centre at the University of Edinburgh. Professor Hugh is here, and Tom, who have been really instrumental in helping us develop the project. And that opened up a lot of avenues, particularly with regards to preserving this archive that we'll talk about today. Because we started off the Colourful Heritage project with recording people's video interviews. And we realized, because we would say to people, come along and bring some photos so that we can use it in the videos. Bring any certificates, anything that we could use. And we realized that there's a real treasure trove of material that elders had kept in their boxes, in the loft. And these included photographs, letters, peddler licenses, tickets from the ships and the planes when they came initially. But the real thing that really struck us, and many of us that are involved, people like Umar and Munawwar and Sajid, that the most comprehensive physical material that we came across was Uncle Maan's. And often you don't give credit to Muslims and Asians for being organized. Bits here, there's a shoebox here. Uncle Maan's was volumes, and some of the family members will have seen it. There'll be volumes, there'll be press cuttings with dates on it, letters from the Queen, letters inviting you to Glasgow Central Mosque AGMs, all of these sort of things, which correspondence, so much valuable material. And we felt that, look, we really need to preserve some of this physical material, but also to preserve any other material that we have from other elders and people that have kept a lot of this material. And so although we have named the archive after Uncle Bashir Maan, it's really an archive for the whole community. For any South Asian and Muslim migrant to Scotland, if it's valuable stuff, and we've worked very closely with the libraries, and Karen will come and say a few words, but really will be a real preserve for this great institution. So maybe in generations to come, when somebody else is studying in the library and wants to distract themselves, they'll come across and might pick up a few items. And I'm reminded of a quote by Betty Shabazz, who's the wife of Malcolm X. And she said, "Malcolm was a firm believer in the value and importance of our heritage. He believed that we have valuable and distinct cultural traditions which need to be institutionalized so that they can be passed on to our heirs." Well, Uncle Maan, and I keep calling him Uncle Maan because really out of respect, people often tell me they refer to them as Bashir Maan, but Uncle and many of our elders deserve the dignity of being called Uncle. They'll be remembered for being these trailblazers, the ones who showed what is possible and what can be achieved. They've opened up the doors for future generations. And just like a strong tree needs strong roots, these elders planted themselves in the community when they came decades ago. And they remained firm despite many challenges and despite many difficulties that were thrown at them. Now, hopefully the future generations, we can be the fruits of this tree. And hopefully we can benefit others in the community and give life and nourishment to those around us.